Hey guys, it's been a while, but now I'm back and I'm gonna be talking about the new anime series called Eden Zero. I've been reading Eden Zero since 2018 ever since I found out that the creator of Fairy Tail was working on a new story that will be completely different from his previous works. So Eden Zero is a sci-fi space story that will follow the character Shiki and his friends as he travels through the cosmos and meets new people along the way, with the ultimate goal of finding Mother. So at the moment of this recording, there has been 2 episodes that has been released so far. And so far, after watching the 2 episodes, I'm really impressed. After watching the first episode, I'm really glad that the anime actually has decent animations, unlike Fairy Tail, where the fights were just basically slideshows. The anime actually added some stuff which was extra to the fights, which was not in the manga, where it kinda seems like it shows the position of where Shiki will be when he uses his ether gear. Kinda cool, but also weird because that has never been shown in the manga, and I doubt that it would even affect the story in any way. So I guess it's just for like a visually design purpose, not really part of the story mechanics and stuff like that, since it wasn't in the manga. Also, the fight scenes actually surprised me because I was actually expecting it to be something like Fairy Tail's fight scenes, which would really ruin the anime. Because if you haven't watched Fairy Tail, then let me tell you that the fight scenes are terrible because we can just see them punching, but then there is no animation on of them moving their arm to hit the person. It's just them already hitting them, if you know what I mean. So I'm actually glad that they are giving the attention and love for this series, which it really needs. Because I really like this series, and if they ruined it, then I'm really disappointed. So I'm glad that they're not pushing this series aside and making it something that is just another poorly developed show. Another thing that I want to talk about is their voices, specifically Shiki's voice. For some reason, after listening to Shiki talk in the anime, his voice seems really deep and older than what I imagined in my head when I first read the manga. To me, the voice doesn't fit how Shiki should really sound like, and it kinda makes Shiki sound like a brooding emo character when his voice should actually be more loud, cheery, and fun. Oh, actually, I just realized that in my head, I expected Shiki to sound like Asta, but a bit less shouty, like a less shouty version of him. So yeah. And also, if you haven't watched this series or read it, and is still deciding on whether or not to carry on and do it, and if you are wondering if it's anything like Fairy Tail, since I'm sure people will definitely compare it to Fairy Tail, then I have to say that personally for me, Eden Zero is a much more enjoyable and rewarding series to follow because the story actually has a goal that they are actively trying to work towards, and the characters actually grow stronger after training, which always bugged me about Fairy Tail. Because if you have watched Fairy Tail, every time they train and manage to beat the villain, the next arc they are easily beaten again and have to train again and use the power of friendship to somehow win, which is really annoying. So Eden Zero also has less power of friendship nonsense, like what I mentioned, and most of the fights make sense, and how they win also makes sense. So if you didn't know, the first episode showed Shiki's powers, which is the ability to control gravity around him and the people around him and objects too. So the variety of powers in the series is much more vast and interesting and doesn't stick to the traditional magic stuff, and actually is more creative in how they use their powers and stuff like that. Also, the story is much better than Fairy Tail. So in conclusion, if you liked Fairy Tail, then you will definitely like Eden Zero. But even if you didn't like Fairy Tail, you will definitely find something for you in the series. Like for example, its sci-fi aspect, which is totally different from Fairy Tail, or maybe even its characters and how they interact with each other and how they grow throughout the series. And so I actually hope that you guys give this series a shot because the manga is really good, and when I read it I really enjoyed it. And if the anime keeps up with the animation and plans to adapt the whole story, then I'm sure it will not be a waste of time to give it at least a chance. So this is a really short video, but if you guys really want to see my thoughts and reviews on any of the new series this season, then please comment down below your suggestions and leave a like on this video if you think that this video helped make you decide whether to watch the series or not. If you're new here, please subscribe because it would really mean a lot. And with that, see you in the next video. Goodbye.